Today we explore a dark forest where the Roman Empire faced its most devastating nightmare. 3 elite Roman legions were entirely vanquished in exactly 3 devastating and tragic days. The commander met a tragic end, while the broken emperor struck the freezing marble walls in deep despair. He cried in profound anguish for his lost men. How could this massive army fall to simple forest tribes? The answer lies in blind arrogance, deep betrayal, and the terrifying wrath of wild Mother Nature. Ancient records state the aftermath of this devastating tragedy was truly horrifying to see. 30,000 Roman men perished within the dark swamps, entirely stripped of all their heavy armor. The golden eagles of the mighty legions were cast into the dirt and broken beyond all recognition. These sacred symbols of Roman power were deeply humiliated by the wild Germanic forest tribes. Back in the grand city of Rome, heavy silence fell upon the massive marble palace of the emperor. Augustus, the most powerful man on earth, was completely broken by this sudden and very tragic news. He wandered through the empty halls at night, tearing his clothes and crying for his fallen, brave soldiers. This massive defeat sent heavy shockwaves of pure terror across the vast lands of the Roman Empire. For the first time in decades, the proud Roman citizens truly feared an invasion from the dark north. To understand this great disaster, we must rewind time and look closely at the beginning of autumn. Weeks earlier, Varus felt highly confident about his strong control over the lands of Germania. He strongly believed that these tribal lands were finally pacified and ready to pay Roman taxes. Surrounded by his brave soldiers, Varus wore his shiny armor with extreme pride and deep arrogance. He forced the free Germanic tribes to obey strict Roman laws, ignoring all their ancient traditions. This blind arrogance planted the dark seeds of a massive and devastating rebellion against Rome. Varus suspected nothing because his top advisor was a highly trusted Germanic nobleman. His name was Arminius, a smart cavalry commander who was educated right in the heart of Rome. Varus loved Arminius like a son, often inviting him to grand feasts and vital Roman war councils. Beneath his uniform, Arminius secretly hid a burning hatred for the foreign invaders. He used his high position to gather intelligence and slowly unite the divided rebel tribes. In autumn, Arminius reported a fake rebellion to trick the highly arrogant Roman leader. He advised Varus to take a highly dangerous shortcut straight through the dense and dark Teutoburg Forest. Without sending any scouts to check the route, Varus ordered his massive army to march forward. The mighty Roman war machine, with nearly 30,000 people, slowly entered the fatal trap. They marched proudly with heavy wagons, completely unaware of the tragic fate awaiting them. As they marched deeper into the thick woods, the dense, ancient oak trees completely blocked out the warm sunlight. The neat and perfect Roman formations were forcefully broken apart by the harsh, rough terrain. The brave soldiers had to cut down thick branches and move heavy fallen logs just to keep walking forward. The marching lines stretched out for miles, making them very vulnerable to a sudden deadly ambush. Arminius rode up to Varus and politely asked permission to gather more local allied troops. Trusting him completely, the foolish general smiled and granted his request without thinking twice. As the traitor vanished into the dark fog, the weather suddenly changed into a terrifying storm. The heavy, freezing rain poured down from the black sky, turning the forest floor into a deep, muddy swamp. Thick mud grabbed at the leather boots, completely exhausting the heavily armored Roman soldiers. Their large wooden shields absorbed the rain, becoming far too heavy for any soldier to carry. The bowstrings became completely wet and useless, stripping the great army of its vital ranged power. Suddenly, a terrifying war cry echoed through the misty trees, chilling Roman hearts instantly. Thousands of fierce Germanic warriors rushed from the shadows, striking the weak Roman flanks directly. Without enough space to form their famous turtle formation, the soldiers were completely helpless. Arminius led the fierce charge himself, throwing his piercing spear into the panicked Roman lines. The muddy forest floor turned crimson as the invaders were vanquished in small, isolated groups. Ancient texts say the Romans fought bravely, but the tough terrain was their truly deadly enemy. Varus tried desperately to rally his broken troops, screaming commands that were completely ignored. Nightfall brought no relief, as the surviving soldiers built a weak defensive camp in the thick, cold mud. If you were the Roman leader trapped in this muddy nightmare, would you surrender to save your fallen men? Please share your thoughts in the comments as we return to the devastating tragedy of Day 2. Day 2 of the fierce ambush was far worse, as the exhausted Romans tried to break out into open fields. Arminius knew their tactics, easily blocking every escape route they so desperately tried. Heavy rain continued to fall without mercy, making it completely impossible to light any fires. Starving, freezing, and deeply wounded, the Roman soldiers started to lose all their remaining hope. On the final day, the remaining legions marched directly into a massive trap at Calcrisa Hill. The Germanic tribes had built a strong, hidden wall of wood right along the narrow, muddy pathway. As the exhausted Romans squeezed through the tight, muddy pass, a deadly rain of sharp spears fell from the high walls. Panic finally broke their discipline, as desperate men tried to climb the muddy defensive wall. They were pushed back into the crimson mud, falling like helpless creatures trapped within a dark cage. Realizing all hope was completely lost, General Varus made a grim and fatal final decision. To avoid the profound shame of capture, he drew his sword and bravely chose a final escape on his own terms. Watching their commander meet a tragic end, the remaining officers quickly chose the exact same fate. Without leaders to guide them, the Roman army collapsed into complete and utterly tragic chaos. The Germanic warriors showed no mercy to the invaders who had cruelly oppressed them for years. Many soldiers met a dark fate at ancient altars hidden deep inside the terrifying dark forest. The few survivors were entirely enslaved, forced to spend their sad lives serving the fierce tribal chieftains. Arminius rode through the fallen battlefield, proudly looking down at the broken Roman Empire. He had successfully achieved the impossible, breaking the greatest military force on this earth. The victorious tribes celebrated, happily drinking from silver cups looted from the fallen Romans. News of the dark disaster reached Rome weeks later, causing a massive wave of panic and deep fear. Emperor Augustus fired his own bodyguards, terrified they might assassinate him in his sleep. He deeply feared a massive barbarian invasion was coming straight for the soft heart of the empire. But the fierce Germanic tribes did not march on Rome, choosing to stay hidden inside their dark forest. However, this dark defeat permanently changed the future borders of the vast European map. Historians wonder, if Rome had won this battle, would modern history be vastly different today? The Rhine River became the permanent border between Roman culture and the wild northern tribes. Rome never again tried to fully conquer the dangerous and deeply forested lands of Germania. The 3 defeated legions were forever erased from all official Roman military records. Their numbers were never used again, acting as a dark reminder of this ultimate Roman tragedy. Arminius became a tribal hero, though he was later silenced by his own jealous relatives. Despite his tragic end, he successfully defended his homeland against the great Roman expansion. Exactly 6 years later, a new Roman leader named Germanicus returned to the cursed Teutoburg Forest. He brought fresh legions to gently bury the bleaching bones of the fallen and seek fierce retribution. The haunting sight of the battlefield brought grown men to tears, deeply traumatizing the younger soldiers. Many remains were found bound to the oak trees, serving as a chilling warning to the Roman Empire. Although Germanicus won a few battles, the emperor finally ordered him to completely retreat. The cost of keeping an army in Germania was simply far too high in both Roman lives and gold. For many centuries, the dense Teutoburg Forest remained a place of dark myth and profound Roman sorrow. Today, modern experts continue to unearth rusted swords and crushed armor from the dark, muddy ground. These rusted relics are silent witnesses to the day a great civilization was crushed by nature. The story teaches a timeless lesson about the fatal danger of ignoring your enemy's true strength. Great Rome built its vast empire on strict discipline, massive stone roads, and predictable field warfare. But the wild Germanic tribes understood that true power comes from embracing the chaotic environment. They boldly used the heavy rain, the deep mud, and the dark shadows as their best weapons of tragic war. In the very end, it was not just an army that defeated Rome, but the terrifying land itself. The Battle of Teutoburg Forest remains a masterclass in dark deception and sudden deadly ambush. It proves no matter how strong an army is, human arrogance will always lead to complete disaster. Looking back at the broken shields and lost eagles, we must always remember the great cost of hubris. The eternal ghosts of those doomed legions will forever haunt the dark and muddy woods of ancient Europe. The endless dark forest stands as a somber monument to the Roman Empire's most shocking defeat. Their shiny golden eagles were buried deep in the mud, never to be seen by human eyes again. Never again would a Roman emperor dare to send his vast armies deep into this cursed woodland. General Varus paid the ultimate price for trusting a single man without any solid proof. Arminius used his deep knowledge of Roman military tactics to destroy his former masters. He quietly took their weapons, learned their strict rules, and patiently waited for the perfect moment to strike. The devastating Teutoburg trap serves as a dark warning to any empire growing far too arrogant. 3 magnificent legions marched into the dark fog, never to return to the warm light of the sun. Even today, historians closely study this massive military failure with complete wonder. It shows perfectly how heavy rain and deep mud can easily defeat the strongest steel armor. Augustus died many years later, still deeply haunted by the terrible ghosts of those fallen soldiers. The mighty Roman borders stopped expanding northward, held back entirely by a muddy, wild forest. This tragic story proves that human strength is completely useless against an angry environment. The infinite deep mud and the terrible darkness of the ancient forest swallowed the proud Roman legions whole. But thousands of years later, another massive army perished in a completely different way. Instead of drowning in cold, dark mud, they were slowly burned and completely swallowed by hot desert sands. Their extreme, agonizing thirst drove them completely mad under the unforgiving and blazing desert sun. Varus lost everything to blind trust, while Arminius used dark betrayal to save his people. Was Arminius a heroic savior of his land, or a ruthless, dishonorable traitor? If you truly enjoyed this dark history, please like, share, and subscribe for more epic ancient battles.